my name is Sarah, and today we're talking about Cinder by Marissa Meyer. If you watch my September haul and my October TBR videos, then you have heard me talk a little bit about this book already. It is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series, which is a 4-book series, the final book of which releases on November 10th, that are retellings of popular fairy tales. As you might have guessed, Cinder is a retelling of the story of Cinderella, and in this particular adaptation, Cinderella is a cyborg. So what do you need to know about the story beyond the fact that it's Cinderella and she's a cyborg? Well, a lot of the elements are still the same. We've still got a handsome prince, we've still got an evil mother and a couple of stepsisters, and we've still got Cinderella not being able to go to the ball unless she gets all of her work done. Other than that, we are set in a futuristic society 126 years after the finish of World War IV, presumably in or around China, as the city they live in is called New Beijing. In this post-World War IV society, the Earth is comprised of 6 different territories, all run by some sort of president, king, emperor, etc. For the last 12 years, the people of Earth have been battling a deadly disease called leishmaniasis, and up until this point, no cure has yet been found. On top of that, they are in the middle of peace negotiations with the moon. Enter your villain, Lavana, Queen of the Moon. We don't get a ton of interaction with Queen Lavana in this particular book, though I very much suspect that we are going to get more and more of her as the story progresses, but thus far, she is deliciously evil. I am very excited to see how her character continues to develop as the story progresses, but I have a feeling she is going to be a fan-freaking-tastic villain. The thing that I enjoyed the most about this story was the uniqueness of this particular retelling. Obviously, fairy tale adaptations and retellings have sort of been all the rage recently, and Cinderella has been adapted goodness knows how many different ways through books, TV, and film over the years, but this is without a doubt the most unique adaptation of Cinderella that I have encountered in the last several years. This futuristic society that Marissa Meyer has created had me wondering how she was going to bring in these pivotal and important elements of the Cinderella story that we all know and love into this world she had created. On the whole, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. The story, while familiar, was done in such a inventive and fun way that, like I said, it still had me guessing as to what was going to happen next and how certain elements of the story were going to play out. The characters are all fun and very likable, and for the most part had quite excellent character development. Yes, we do still have some of your YA tropes that pop up here and there, but none of them were so constant or overwhelming that they really wound up bothering me. The other thing that I really liked was that I enjoyed all of the minor characters just as much, if not more, as I enjoyed Cinder and Prince Kai and Queen Lavana and some of the other main characters that we are starting to follow throughout this story. The thing that I disliked the most about this book was the world building itself. In general, Marissa Meyer does a pretty solid job of building the world that New Beijing takes place in and gives us actually a good bit of information about what has happened over the last 12 years since leishmaniasis came to the Earth and the peace negotiations with the moon began. So we know a lot about sort of how we got to where we are today and how the world works, but we don't know much past that. We only really get the history of the last 12-ish years. And so there's about 114 years from the end of World War IV to 12 years ago when peace negotiations and leishmaniasis sort of happened to the Earth that we don't really know what happened there. We know that in this post-World War IV society, there are 6 territories that cover the Earth, but we don't really know how that happened or how that works or how international relations function or anything like that. Like, how does one dude run basically all of Asia, and where did New Zealand go, and are South America and North America run by one person, or are they their own separate things? However, this book still was really solid. The pacing is excellent. Like I said, I really enjoyed the characters, and even though I do still have a few questions about how this world came to be, I really like the world itself that she is building. I'm very excited to continue reading the series and see more of the story that Meyer is developing, and I'm hoping that some of those establishing questions about the world get answered in the books to come. I will say that I totally saw the plot twist that pops up at the end of the book coming from a mile away. There's a particular conversation pretty early on in the book, and as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, I bet this is a thing, and it's a thing. So on some level, it's kind of predictable, but it might just be that I read a lot of mystery books as a kid, and so I sort of made it a sport to like guess plot twists and like who was gonna be this person and all this kind of stuff. Because I'm not totally sure if I just found the plot twist super predictable because, like I said, I used to read books and try to guess plot twists and things like that early on, or if it was a total surprise for a lot of other people. All that to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was a lot of fun, it was a great read, and I really am excited to see the world that Marissa Meyer continues to build and to see how her various other fairy tale adaptations play into the world she started to build here, but also play off of their original stories that she's pulling from. There are 2 other official canon books in the series, Scarlet and Cress, and the final installment, Winter, comes out on November 10th. There is also a prequel that tells the story of Queen Lavanna that is out, and I will certainly be picking up all of those books in the next couple of months, and am very excited to continue sharing my thoughts on the Lunar Chronicles with you. There you have it, friends. That's my review of Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts. If you have read Cinder and the rest of the Lunar Chronicles, I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye! Also, in peace negotiations with the negotiations caused any, but yes, you do have some of, yes, we do still, blah, blah, blah.